Bobby Aylward is here to start.
Thank you, Minister. I expect such a sudden call. We must ramp up, Minister, we must ramp up our response to rural crime. In my opinion, the national statistics show a reduction in burglaries and related offences and are not reflected the situation on the ground in rural Ireland. I think the reason for that, Minister, is because people are not reporting it in rural Ireland in particular, because the Gardaí haven't the personnel and they haven't the response time, and I believe that Gardaí, and I had to come for sometimes in 2 and 3 days afterwards to come to report crime. And I also believe the cost of insurance and a rise in their insurance premium if they claim that people are just ignoring that and just putting up with the crime and moving on and keeping going with life. And I think that's one of the reasons why statistics are dropping rather than other reasons. The people of these communities feel isolated and forgotten. It's only a matter of time before we begin to see serious incidents of vigilantism occurring around the country. This is not an exaggeration, Minister. We must act urgently to put deterrents in place to immediately halt these criminal gangs in their cakewalk around the country, and this motion calls for a tougher response to repeat offenders in communities nationwide, including electronic monitoring being made a condition of bail for repeat offenders. Tougher amendments to current legislation are required to tackle the level of organised crime that has so damaging to communities up and down the country. We have seen the success of Carlow-Kilkenny in fighting certain types of crime, provided they are given political priority by government. It is time to prioritise rural crime. I also want to discuss the failing by government to honour the commitment in the programme that CCTV cameras would be erected at all major junctions on our motorways. To be clear, I am not talking about the community-based CCTV grant aid schemes which was launched last April. I am talking about the rollout of a CC-based crime-fighting system being erected on our motorways, which are being used by the criminal gangs to get in and out of the communities which they are terrorising. We have 2 motorways going through my constituency of Carlow-Kilkenny, the M9 and the M7, and organised gangs are coming from Dublin and other rural areas like Limerick in particular and are targeting business and robbing them. What is the status? I want to know what is the status of this commitment in the programme from government. What is the timescale for erection of these cameras? And I proved that in a little village in North Kilkenny in Ullingford, where a gang came down from Dublin and proven it was known by the Gardaí. 20 minutes they came off the motorway. 20 minutes they had the place robbed and 20 minutes to go back on the motorway to Dublin. This is what CCTV cameras will stop. And I think vigilantism is going to happen, because already you can see what happened in Offaly last week. And a man, it was on the Sunday papers last Sunday, where people are going to bed armed with whatever they have. Hurleys and Kilkenny, I suppose, more than anything else. Billies and slashers and knives. I mean, this is what's going to happen. There's going to be a series of offences, because if the Gardaí and the government of this country are there to protect people, they will fight back themselves, and the only way to do that is by protecting themselves through their own means. And I am asking the Minister to take all this on board, and particularly CCTV cameras on coming off the motorways.